Forgive me, I'm going to do the reporter thing where I try to eke out as much as I can. I know you said you're not going to announce it. Do you have a starter yet at quarterback, though?
Not yet, no.
Not yet. So is it, I guess, I think you said last week you'd like to know kind of coming out of this, is that maybe one of kind of the keys for you in the next couple of days, sitting down with the staff as you process the film of what you just did to sort of say, let's get this to a place where we're comfortable with the decision?
Yeah, I think that that was kind of the initial plan, and I think we still feel good about that process and timing wise, and may take a couple of days after we get through all this, and we consider 2 more days of practice before we're kind of out of fall camp and get into Illinois prep. So we're not there yet. But we definitely will be making a decision in the near future.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, some new faces, D-line, especially on the interior. You guys have had a couple of scrimmages, a number of padded practices. Just your take on that position and some of the new guys, JH and Patrick and Ladarius and even Dominique James. Just your thoughts on them and how they've kind of come along.
Yeah, I would say first of all, you got several of those guys that you mentioned have all been here since January. The youngest one, Nick James, that you mentioned, has really been impressive. I think keeps getting better and better every time we practice, which you expect that. He kind of did that same way in the spring. I thought he just really, once he started figuring out, get more comfortable. Even the same way here in fall camp, he can be a little bit of information overload sometimes, even though he's been here, has not been through a college fall camp before. And then JH continues to be a really strong leader, productive, really understands football, smart guy. And I think, LD and PJ give us 2 big bodies in there that have some mass that we haven't had in the past, so both working hard, doing a good job, getting better all the time, learning the system. Feel like that a lot of new guys, yes, but guys that we expect to help us. Nick's the only one right out of high school. The others have been playing before, and Jay's played a lot of football, so definitely a big part of us. And then you got CO and DeMarcus that have continued to be in there and play really, really hard, and excited about the group. They got to play well for us, and we plan to play a whole bunch of them and rotate them and allow them to be able to stay fresh and play hard and physical.
Just to go back to quarterbacks to stay there, what did you see as far as progression from each of those guys from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2? What did you like today, but what also did you like just about how they, adapted, from scrimmage 1?
Yeah, I think there's continuing to understand our system is a big deal. And I haven't really strayed from the 3 things that I'm really looking for them. And step 1 is understanding just having a great command of the offense. And that continues to grow each week, every day passes. And then also the ability to protect football. That's something that's going to be a big variable in this decision. You just know how much peril you put your whole team in when you don't protect it and when you make poor decisions. So I'm continue to see those. I think that's becoming a little more clear with each one of those guys and where they're at. And I think to me that's got to be a huge priority. And then number 3 is just winning the confidence of the locker room. And I think that happens on a consistent basis. It happens just from the interaction. It happens on how you play every day, the trust that's built over time. And I think that both those guys continue to grow in the execution of our offense. They both continue to do some good things of moving the ball down the field and getting the ball in the end zone, which is huge. So today is a part of that evaluation. Obviously, haven't watched the film yet, but I feel like the last couple of days, been able to do a lot of things in that area to get our offense more comfortable with what we're doing and being able to execute and play at a high level and be able to play with confidence and clarity. So to me, that's what it's going to come down to. Whoever we feel has those 3 qualities and is able to do that consistently well. And I think that as you would expect, they're growing in those areas, and as you understand what you're doing, and there's no question, even defensively, we do enough things to where we make that challenging for them at times, which is good. Make them have to be able to do a lot of things that allow them to execute the offense at a high level, which is not easy to do. I don't think just because of the multiplicity of the things we try to present with them. But at the same time, that's part of it. They're going to see a lot of that same stuff throughout the season. So the progress has been good, and we're anxious to make a decision and move forward.
Kind of along the lines of just the offensive depth chart in general, you mentioned you guys have still got a couple days of fall camp before you go into your official practices. Are you still circulating? Are you still revolving on the depth chart, or are you getting more of an idea of kind of a first unit, second unit type deal?
Yeah, I would say after today, that will be the case. We've been probably of all the fall camps I've been a part of, we've probably played more guys, got more reps for multiple groups of guys than we ever have, 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. We've done that consistently. that will begin to change here. This scrimmage was kind of targeted as a time to say, okay, we're going to start setting our depth chart and really say who's going to be the guys who are going to be playing on the game day. And that would be your ones and your twos, and then a few threes that are in that rotation as well. So that's really what, yes, this scrimmage today to me and the staff meeting we'll have tomorrow morning will be a huge part of that. And then we'll have a lengthy discussion about it, and obviously have a whole bunch of data collected. You're going to have about roughly 150 more plays today, so we're going to have about 850 snaps to be able to evaluate throughout fall camp of Skelly, team, move the ball, scrimmages, all those kind of things, all combined together to have a pretty good, I think a pretty accurate way to evaluate guys. And as we tell them, it's their responsibility to prove to their position coach they deserve to play, and that's how we present the idea of how the depth chart is created. It's on them.
Coach, this is a little bit more of a deep question, but you've talked about how when things don't go your way, it tells you a lot about yourself. You learn about yourself. And then more specifically, I guess in the context of last season now to this season, is there any times in your life that you'd be willing to share, in football, not in football, where you came across some type of adversity like that and, you came out on the other end of it learning more about yourself and stronger than you did before?
There's no question, and that's why I love what I do. I feel like that I get a chance to coach the sport that I love. I get a chance to impact lives, which I really feel strong about. I feel it gives me tremendous purpose, and I get to help teach life, because sometimes life's really, really hard, and sometimes it's really, really unfair. And so I've experienced things in my own life, even in the last few years, with things with our own family, and some things that people may know about, some that people don't know about. And sometimes I share those things with our guys, and to be able to talk to them through the why you have to have a purpose-driven life, to where if it's just about you and doing something that's got a short-term outcome of, whether it's just making money, I think that's a pretty shallow motivation for doing certain things. And if it's just about, getting some kind of award or reward, to me it has to be something bigger than what you get out of it. It has to be about who you become in that process. And that's hard to say sometimes because we all want to have success. We all want to be rewarded for that. We all want to have things go our way. But when life doesn't go your way, how are you going to respond? And we're trained in that, because we learn that if we do things a certain way and have a strong foundation, and we have a life that has meaning bigger than just trying to win a football game or trying to earn a paycheck. I think when life is difficult, I think that you get a chance to be stronger because of it. You get to learn that if I just stick to my core values and my principles that I believe in and don't waver from those things, then I'm going to be able to come out stronger than I was before, because those kinds of difficulties, as we all know, make us tougher. They make us more resilient. They give us that grit that you have to be great in this life. And sadly, we can't get that any other way other than going through adversity. We'd love to be able to get that without, but you don't earn patience or learn how to be patient by, having everything go your way. You learn it when things don't go your way in the time frame that you want them to happen in. So just the same way in any adverse type of situation. So I think the adversity we face as a team is going to just make us stronger as a program. And we had a really, really rough season last year, and that was not expected, but it was what happened. And so what are you going to do? Just like when life happens and difficulties occur, how are you going to respond? So yeah, I just think that we get a chance to do that on a daily basis, and hope our team has learned a lot of valuable things, and we'll be stronger because of it.
Coach, now that you're through two scrimmages, what are the biggest areas of progress you've seen from the offensive line when you, in terms of like the improvements you were looking for them to make at the start of fall games?
Yeah, I think pass protection's been a positive growth. It's something we really focused on, and we try to stress them in that area, as a team during camp. And I think that's something we've seen improve, which we need to be able to do. Being able to create, run creases, for our backs, getting them space to be able to be able to get to second levels, and then also I think just as we get to those second level blocks, to be able to cover people up. That's been a big point of emphasis, and creating those more explosive plays for us, and not having to drive the ball 10, 12, 13 play drives to be able to score points, and getting to create some of those explosive chunk plays. So I think our O-line has been a big part of that. That's what they got to continue to work on and continue to be able to execute at a high level from start to finish.
Yeah, how has James Evans been progressing now that he's in his kind of second year of organized football?
You know, I thought today he punted the ball really, really well. So that was, I know he's had a better camp than he did a year ago, which a year ago was ground zero. It was level one for him, and very, very, I thought, challenging probably for him with all the newness that he experienced. And then to have to open his first game at a place like Iowa was even more challenging. So definitely seeing the growth, seeing the more consistency in his drops, which creates more consistent kick in both ball location and hang time, which is really the two key things for a punter. You know, it's not always just about getting the furthest punt. It's where it's located and how much hang time you get with that distance. So he's got a very strong leg, and I'm very excited about his potential to just keep getting better and better. So he's had a good fall camp.
Kind of going back to offensive line for a second, you've got some guys that you tried moving around a fair bit last season, guard to center, tackle to guard, et cetera, just trying to kind of find solutions, and it seemed like you were pretty purposeful with your staff about moving them back this offseason. Do you feel good about a guy like Mike Kadick, a guy like Matt Bedford, just sort of being back essentially, this is his best position, this is where we're most comfortable with him, and this is where we're going to keep him even if we've got injuries or something like that?
Yeah, that would be ideal. You know, you're still going to always have the objective of playing your best five, you know, getting those guys out there, and that's going to stay the same. But I do think you know, there's no doubt that's been a purposeful action to keep those guys in certain positions. I think Michael Kadick's had a really good camp. I think he's playing his best football, which he needs to be, very physical and just gotten better, you know. And then same with Luke Haggard and Matt Bedford. So those guys, and Zach continues to improve. So to me, keeping those guys in their spots, and we're still, you know, having multiple guys that we're getting ready at right guard as well. And then we also got, you know, Parker Hanna, who's developing every single practice. Seems like he just keeps getting better and better as adjusts to this level and has really good, you know, skills. He just needs to continue to develop those and be able to put it all together for himself. So trying to create depth and be able to put our best five on the field. But right now we've been able to keep those guys in a consistent spot, yes.
That's the last one. You guys have talked about Lance Bryant's play, and so basically
Yeah.
he's played. What's different, what's better about it? What are you guys
Yeah, you know, I think it's a lot of it is we've tried to simplify some things for his position. I think he kind of sometimes, you know, he plays a spot that when you go through and you're trying to schematically do things that hell, we'll let that guy, you know, handle some of the adjustments. And I think maybe in the past it's gotten maybe a little bit heavy for that position. And so trying to increase the execution, got a lot more same as type things as we do different things with him. So I think that's helped. He's been here, you know, and I think just the urgency and the finality of being in your last year, I think has really kicked in for him, you know. There is no next year, you know, and so and he's just he's playing tougher, he's playing with better effort, he's just playing with more confidence, he's a better leader for us. I like all those things about him, and I think it's equated into better performance, you know. And I think he's also got Miles Jackson breathing down his neck, you know, and pushing him, which I think is really critical. And it's just, I think that competition, and that may be what's the biggest variable of all, you know. So, but I think all those things combined have added to it, and he's just growing up, you know. And so he's always been a great kid, but I think you're just seeing him, you know, be the beneficiary of a lot of reps, a lot of coaching, just a lot of perspective on life about what it's like to be here and what we've been through. He's been through the highs, he's been through the lows, and now has a chance to say I want to finish a certain way. So, and I think I'd say a lot about our older guys on defense and some of those older guys on offense that are coming back have experienced kind of what we talked about, you know, the adversities and then also the mountaintops of some things, and then they want to finish out, you know, in a certain way. So he's one of those guys. Awesome, appreciate it. Have a great day. Leo.